All right. We are live, I believe. Just going to check it really quick. All right. I see myself. Make sure that the picture quality is where it should be. All right. That's looking pretty good, I think. All right. Very cool. Very cool. So it's been a little while since I've done one of these. We haven't live streamed for a bit. And first of all, I want to thank you guys. Well, you guys can't see that. 350 subscribers. So thank you, thank you, thank you very much. That's almost a 200 increase in 1 year. And I'll put out a community post a little bit later. But awesome. So cool. Thank you so much to everyone who's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. I love hearing your comments. You guys are so cool. All right, so what is the plan for today? Well, the plan isn't too complicated. We pretty much, you guys can actually see, it's kind of like a sneak peek because I've been working on this for the next devlog. The next devlog is all about tiles, tile sets. In the last episode, we worked on the tile maps, right? Creating that sense of depth, the color change, all of that stuff. This is the tiles themselves. So you can see already a big change. We've got a bunch of squares, triangles on the screen. We've got blue lines everywhere. What do they all mean? Well, we've got these really, it's hard to see, but these really, really like transparent green lines, right? As we move across, you can kind of see them at the very bottom of the page. That is where our character, our player stands, right? So that's kind of where the colliders are for everything. So that gives us kind of a guide to set up our colliders, make sure everything lines up correctly, and that's what that is. The blue lines are pretty much where it's going to go into that. It's kind of hard to explain, but you know how in 2D games it's kind of like a slice of land, right? And the character, the player, is on the top side of that land, but then you actually see like inside the ground, right? The side of it. So that is what this is. So the blue line pretty much just is the mark where the top surface of the tile turns into the side profile of the tile. So that just gives us a good indication of what the top is and what the side is going to be. So we can see like these tiles are blue and then this is a blue tile. So everything's going to kind of bleed in. So while I draw these tiles, I have to keep that in mind that they're going to blend into this bigger tile here. And then at the same time, it allows us to kind of set our character in the middle. It creates more depth. Remember, this game is all about depth, right? We can jump into the background and everything still works. From the last devlog, we were able to do all that. So now we're talking about the specific tiles. And what I've done is made these prototype tiles. So that's why they're so simple. They're 280 or sorry, 128 pixels by 32 pixels. And it should actually give us more detail ability. At first, what I tried doing is making smaller tiles, 16 by 16. But then what I realized is that 16 by 16, I want to also have like variation in the tiles. It gets a little too chaotic, and there's bound to be something that wouldn't work in the world, right? Some tiles just wouldn't line up properly. And so I decided instead of that, I'm just going to place every single tile and just that way it's already, if I do that, then I'll fix the problems as I see them. Whereas if I do it procedurally or with variation automatically, I might not pick out or pick up on all the issues that might come from it. So The 128 by 32 I think is pretty good because it allows us to make these kind of like stairway, right? These triangles, right? You see these triangles. What do you see? You could see sand dunes, you could see staircase, you could see triangles. So that has a lot of potential. And the 128 by 32 is going to allow us to draw those stairs, draw those details, right? That 16 by 16 or 32, excuse me, 32 by 32 just wouldn't allow us to do. So that's mainly why it's 128 by 128. So there are three things today that we're trying to work on. We're not going to get them all done today, but every Monday I'm going to be streaming. So make sure to subscribe and leave a like for that. Three things. First of all, animation, right? Our tiles have to animate. We want everything to feel alive. It has to animate. Number two, it has to be responsive or dynamic, whichever one you want to call it. But pretty much what I would like is in the finished game, right? There's an explosion, whatever it might be, and the tiles will change. They'll show their damage, right? So it's kind of in the animated tile genre, but it's not a repeating animation of like the wind blowing or things like that. This is actively creating tile variants for damage and the tiles reacting to the forces around. The last thing I believe is just variation. So allowing for, let's say we have one tile, right? But then we have another tile that's almost identical, but it has some grass in it or it has something different, right? One step that instead of all the steps being perfectly the right size, maybe one's a little bigger just to add a little bit of variation. Or maybe one step is broken and, it adds that variation. So that's the three things that we need to do, right? We're going to work on it on this stream, but this is for the devlog that's coming out hopefully by the end of the month. So that's kind of the plan. That's what we're working on. So I think the first thing we need to do is kind of dive into our A sprite here and open up the tile layout that I've been working on. So this is kind of the tiles that I worked out, right? We've got the 128 by 32 tiles, and we also have some smaller ones, right? So we've got just 32 by 32, 64 by 64, 16 by 16. It just gives us the ability to put even finer detail, right, into the game. So what I'd like to do is grab, let's say this one, and we just want to kind of test what an animated tile would look like, right? So we need a tile with animation. Oop. That's not what I was looking for. Let's try that again. All right. So this, oops. Okay. There we go. All right, so this can be frame 1, do another one at, well, frame 1, frame 2, it doesn't really matter. The idea is we need to create multiple tiles for the animation. And so for this one, let's say we put more red, that, And then we'll have it like in the middle. So it'll look like we have this red bar just moving. And let's do, well, let's try to keep it consistent like that. We do one more. Right there. The point of this is that then we can try to layer the animation. The idea also with these three things is to try to make it the least resource intensive. So I could just do like a prefab tile, right? But then every prefab would have to be in the game. And those objects would take up a lot of performance. At least that's my understanding of it. So I would like to avoid having to do that. We'll have to probably do that for interactable tiles already. And I think that's going to be enough draw on the performance that I don't want to make it worse. Okay, so this is technically 4 frames, right? We've got completely clear, then the red starting, middle, end, right? So now we have to try to figure out how we're going to make it animated. Just going to export. Boom, boom. All right, let's grab that. And we'll import it into the game. Do, 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 do. All right, perfect. So now we can reload our game. And we need to go down to the sprites. And we have to tell Unity that we actually have more sprites now. We can see in the sprite editor here. Let's see here. We can just create new. Oh, this is for custom physics. We need just normal sprite editor. Okay, there's that. Okay. And then the last one. And then we can apply. Okay, so there are a few things we need to think about. We have a few 2D extras, right, that comes with Unity that we could install. I already installed it. And what that allows us to do is create a rule tile, allows us to create animation tiles. We should test the animated tile. All right, so I just create an animated tile. Let's call it test ground. And we'll create, so it's four sprites. We've got, let's see. The base tile. Oh no, they want sprites. They want sprites. Okay. We've got the base tile here. Then we've got 1, 2, and 3. All right, minimum speed, maximum speed, I don't really understand. Let's do collider grid. Start time, don't really, yeah, we don't know that yet. Don't understand it. Let's go to the instead of default brush, let's pull this out a little bit. There we go. Instead of default brush, I think it's game object brush. No, it's not that. Oh, random brush. There we go. So now, if we just, let's just place it up in the air for now. Oh, it's not offset. There's no offset to it. Ooh, I don't know how to do that. How do we offset it? Tile size. Uh-oh. So the reason that the reason we would need to offset it is we have a grid of 16 by 16, and even though 128 and 32 are both divisible by 16, Unity doesn't line it up with the grid, so we have to offset all of the tiles. So this is issue number one. The offset isn't working, so it'd be, it doesn't match, right? You can see it's not quite right. Although it is on 1 too, but that shouldn't do anything. Let's do that. Whoa. What just happened? There we go. All right, let's just place it down and see what happens. Oh, that's a very slow animation. Let's do maximum speed. I guess this is frames a second, right? So let's just test 30. That seems like it went faster, right? Maybe not. Here, let's reset. I put the speed to 120, so that should be really fast if it's frames a second. Yeah, wow, okay. All right. So let's say 60, because ideally this game is gonna run at 60 frames a second. Hey, Royal Predator, how's it going? Welcome to the chat. Okay, yeah, so that's going really fast because we don't have any in between frames, right? Typically animations on 2s. So let's find what feels good. Of course, this is just a test animation, doesn't really matter, but we want to, kind of understand how it works. It is, I believe, frames a second. So the animation works fine. That's good. What is the problem though? The problem is that we're not set up on the grid. There's no offset. No offset. So it doesn't really play nice with the other tiles. I wonder if we can just fix that somewhere. There is the tile set size. I don't really know what that means though. Does that mean that if let's set it to 2? Huh. All right. If I set 2, it asks for 2 tile base. What does that mean? Why would it? Oh, I see. It's talking about the grid. Interesting. Okay. That's not great. Yeah, that's not great. Wow, it looks so great. Thank you so much. I'd say your name, but I don't know if I can say that. Jado Dix W. Jadof. Anyways, thank you. Yeah. This lines up on its own grid. This is, not offset. We need to offset by 0.125. That's what the rest of this grid is on, and that's what allows it to be on the 16 grid. 16 by 16 pixels. Let's see. I wonder if we open this up, can we open this up first off? can we edit the script? We should be able to edit all of the scripts for these 2D extra, like the 2D extra set. I put it in packages, but it's editable. So we don't have to worry about that. The main thing is knowing what to edit, how to edit to get what we want. Okay, so we've got tile animation data. Okay, so tile animation data, does that mean, what does that really mean? Does that mean that we're talking about animated tiles, which is what we have? Or tiles that have animation, meaning that we can do it a different way? Animation data, data to run an animation on the tile. Okay, interesting. Does that mean that we could assign this animation tile to a tile on this tile palette? Let's see. Because if that's the case, all right, we selected this tile. See the offset. Oops. Okay, that didn't work. No, we can't assign an animation. We can't assign anything to it. So I'm assuming that the get tile animation data is in fact this animated tile right here. That's what allows us to read that. Oh, well, we're in the animation tile itself. We're not in the rule tile. I thought we were in a rule tile. No, yeah, we're in the animated tile itself. Let's see if, okay, so we can understand the animation. That's fine. The animated tile editor. Oh, okay. So this might be where we can actually create an offset area where we can add the offset ourselves. The other thing is drawing it, right? So draw element. Okay, so here, this should be it. Where does, yeah, okay, index sprite name. What if we just drag this? No way. Okay. Okay. Can I? Oh, this solves all our problems. Okay, so now we can offset it, right? Let's delete this. Hmm, that's not working. Why is that not working? Let's, oh, we need to, okay, stop the edit. Select that. No, that's not working. It should though. I just offset it, but it doesn't work. That's not good. So I can offset it all I want, but pretty much if I don't, but it won't be on this main grid. Hmm. Oh, I'm in the random brush. Let's go to default brush. Okay, but will it still animate? Let's see. Yes. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So pretty much you create an animated tile and then you drag it into the tile palette. Once you do that, then everything works, right? You can offset it from the grid itself, from the tile palette. Oh, still need to work on the ledge hang, ledge grab, because we changed some things, so we have to change it again. But the animated tile works. That's step one. So now we know we can animate it. First issue is out of the way. Okay, so that's running. That's perfect. Great. Now the question is, can we create a tile that dynamically, well, not dynamically. I mean, it doesn't have to be, it needs to interact with the world pretty much. So when our character, let's say we click a button, right? Let's say we click X, and when we click X, our tile needs to take damage. How do we show that it takes damage, right? That's when we need the state to change. So let's say that our tile is animated, then explosion, boom. Explosion. Let's say that the explosion kills whatever vegetation or whatever was on our tile, right? Let's say that it doesn't really have to be animated anymore. Well, no, I still want to animate it. So how will it switch to a different animated tile? So let's create a different animated tile to test this. We're doing some serious problem solving here. Some solving problem. Okay, let's take this right here. And the goal will be to completely change the tile base itself. Oops. Right? So that would mean that explosion goes off, and now we're, instead of a square, we're a triangle. Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot the music. Completely forgot the music. Let's turn the music on. All right, let me know if that's too loud. If it's not loud enough, let me know. All right, so let's let's make this animated too. So remember, we want to change from one animated tile to another. All right, so we've got that. Let's do that in the middle. Okay, and then the very end. Okay, that should be good. We'll export that. And let's drag it into our project. Okay, oh, let's turn this off. So, again, the plan. We now figured out the animated tile. We're going animated tile to different animated tile. That's the plan. If we can do that, then we can pretty much make dynamic tiles, right? Something happens in the world, the tiles are different. right? Maybe the player interacts with the tile and then the tile's different, right? Let's say you, I don't know what you could do, but let's say you throw a sword at a tree, and that tree will now have the sword, like the hole that the sword made or something. I don't know, but just stick with me. This is something we could do. Let's create a new, well, actually first we need to create the sprite itself. Let's go into sprite editor. Originally, when I was planning this devlog, months ago, I was hoping that we'd have some like serious tiles, like, polished looking tiles that would be in the final game. But then I started thinking that it's better if we just use some good old prototype tiles just to really understand how the tiles work first, and then move on to actually polishing them, making them look better. So fortunately, we're not gonna have the best looking tiles just yet, but soon. Just need to make sure that we have all these major systems in play by the time that we actually start making the polished tiles. All right, so again, we're gonna do the same thing, animated tile, right? We're gonna call this one triangle test. Okay, it's again 4. Let's go into inspector. It's 4 tiles again. Where's the first one? I think this is first one, and then we've got second, third, and fourth. We have to match the same speed. So what was the speed we had? I think it was 60. No, we did 24 to finish it off. All right, 24 frames a second. Lighter type, we're going with grid. That's going to be the next thing we need to test. Can we still walk on the animated tiles? That's going to be a serious question that we need answered. Okay, let's drag the, where is it? We need, where's the triangle test? Oh, it's down here. We drag this in. Okay, and now we go to settings. There it is. 0.125. 0.125. That lines up to the 16 by 16, and then this isn't quite right yet. All right, and that's what we needed. Perfect. And you know what? I just realized this isn't quite set up right. We need an extra 5 there. There. Now we're all lined up. Okay. So this looks like it's good. It says it's animated tile. Let's just test it. Let's see what it looks like. Yep, it's moving at the same speed. Oh, that was interesting. What? What is that all about? So we can jump on certain areas, but then we'll fall through. Why does he jump like that? Like this, or just when he hits his head like that? The jump animation isn't quite ready. So that's actually, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. All 2 of you that are in the chat. So after this devlog is all about the tiles, right? And animated tiles, all the stuff that I've just talked about. The next devlog after that, so I'm hoping in February, that's going to be a whole animation overhaul and controller overhaul. So pretty much making it a lot more like a game. You can kind of tell right now, I don't know how the quality of the stream is going, but you might be able to tell that the player is kind of jittering a little bit. And that's because in the last devlog, I wasn't sure how to smoothly move the layers, but you can see now they're very smooth. The layers and the camera itself was on the just a regular, I think it was on late update, whereas the movement was on fixed update. So I moved the camera to fixed update and everything was super smooth, but the animation, I believe, animation is done on update. So late update was smoother because it would go after that. We're gonna change that so that the animation is also, I mean the character, sorry, and the animator for the character is on fixed update. So then everything's gonna be smooth, and we're gonna fix some of the animations like the jump and the run. I've got updated animations that I just didn't put in because I wanted to wait for that video, for that devlog, which again should be out February if I can stick to my schedule. I pretty much, until July, I have like one devlog a month that I'm trying to do. And after the reception of the last devlog, guys, that blew up like crazy for my channel. So hopefully that continues happening. That'd be awesome. Okay, so for some reason, there is like a 16 by 16 grid, it seems. I'm not really sure. I'm being blessed by the YouTube algorithm. I hope so. That'd be great. Yeah, the last video it did pretty well. I think it has 4,000 something views, which is huge. That doubled my largest video to date. No, yeah, that was awesome. Got like 100 something subscribers just off of that. Never seen the subscriber number go up so quickly, but that was so cool. So we don't need this script actually. That's, you know, we're good with that. What we do need is to figure out how we're going to change the tiles. So let's take a look at rule tile, because I've tested the rule tile, but I've tested it more on a like variation. Thank you, man. I'm trying. I'll try to keep up the good work. All right, so we try to do a not custom, but just a normal rule tile, and we'll see what is that. So the rule tile, it allows for variation, but it also allows for auto tiling, which I kind of wanted to do, but then eventually, you know, I had to give up on it because we have different tile sizes and it just doesn't work. So we do have an option inside of rule tile that I think is what's going to save us here, where we can create a prefab. So let's create a prefab real quick. Where do we do that again? Prefab. There we go. Let's call this damage tile test. Okay. Now in here, we can do well. Can we somehow? It's like no way for us to just do an animated tile. I don't think so. The idea though is that we can take this prefab, right? Let's just put a sprite render on it. And we'll give it some random sprite like this one. Okay. So now what's cool about the rule tile is that we can load that prefab in, and we'll set the, you know, default collider to grid. Okay. Now, I don't think we need to put any rules necessarily, but we put, or yeah, we don't necessarily need to put any rules. What we can do is put that new rule tile in our random brush. Okay, yeah, so it's working. Let's do round 2. Let's make sure that the prefab itself is on the right sorting layer. Okay. So now, all right, so it's not lined up to the grid, but that's all right for now. We can, I think, fix that just by, can we actually take the rule tile and lift it up here? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. So let's edit and just try to delete whatever, I put there. Okay, so it doesn't let us offset there, but I think if we go into the prefab and we just move it manually, 0.125, I think then when we try to, no, that's not doing it. Okay, so lining it up on the rule tile, that might be an issue. But the cool thing, what I want to show you guys is if we were to just, let's change this brush to a game object brush, and I'll just show you guys really quickly. If we load the prefab in, right, and we decide to start, putting a bunch of different rule tiles, or sorry, prefab tiles, you'll see down here, I'll open this up, oops, that there's a whole bunch of prefabs that are being made, right? It's generating so many different game objects inside of the hierarchy, inside of the game itself. That I think we want to avoid, because if every single tile is its own game object, it's going to eat up the performance like crazy. So what we can do is use the rule tile, because when the rule tile is being used, we go back to random brush. When rule tile is being used, you can take a look. There's nothing in the hierarchy. Everything is on the tile set, which is what it's supposed to do, right? That's what's supposed to be so great about a tile set, or by the tile maps, is that it makes sure that all the performance, right, it's kind of using one object instead of hundreds and thousands. That's the idea, at least. So if we can do that, if we can use the rule tile to kind of be the container for everything else, then that'd be great. We technically don't need the animated tile rule, or the tile, animated tile, this thing, if we can just use a game object, because then we can just switch out the animation from a script, and that script could also be what dictates when things are destroyed, right? So that's actually really great. That's what we can do, and that would be pretty simple. The question is, will it interact? So I know that we can now switch. So theoretically, we can switch. If we use a prefab inside of a rule tile, we can switch out the animations. We still have to figure out the offset, and then I want to figure out one last thing, which is the interaction. So will it work as an interactable? Now the offset, that's going to be a bit difficult, because so the position won't work. Let's see, what do any of these work? Let's change the size to something crazy. Yeah, no. So none of these transform positions will work. Now the rule tile doesn't give us anything to work with. Hmm. Doesn't give us any offset ability. Which is sad. If everything else is able to offset. Let's try to pull that rule tile in one more time. Oh, I think I lost it. Okay, so it doesn't let us offset anything. Which, let's see, is there a way that we can actually, if we edit the script and we try to find where it says the rule, the rule tile. Oh, it doesn't say rule tile. Well, then how come the animated tile is completely fine, but the rule tile we can't offset? We need to figure that out. So we actually do need to open up the animated tile and see what that's doing. And technically, we could actually, for the script that switches out all the sprites, we could technically probably use stuff from this script, you know, like reuse parts of this script to do that. All right, we've got speed. We're looking, I think, for editor specifically. And you know what? We should be comparing it to the rule tile script. Let's put it side by side. Okay, so this is kind of, you know, for all the neighbor stuff. So that's what allows for auto tiling. Hi, Vicos. How's it going? Thanks for joining. We're just working on some of the rule tiles, trying to figure out the best way of creating dynamic tiles in our game. So neighbor positions, okay, that's for auto tiling. Auto tiling is not going to work because we have too many different size tiles, at least for now. We might revisit it. Not sure yet. Positions. Rule transform. Okay. Rule output transform dot rotate dot mirror dot mirror. Okay, so that is the rotation, but maybe we can find a way to use this code to actually change the position. Oh wait, position. Okay, that's for the neighbor, but positions, is there any way to get the current position? These are neighbor positions. Okay, so that's not what we want. We want current position. Current position. Okay, on startup. All right, so position here, does that... Oh, here we go. Position of the tile on the tile map. All right, so rule matches, position, whatever. Now what, let's see, startup, where's startup? Where's that called? Startup. Okay, let's try to find the implementation. Well, it's a bool. It's a public override bool. Okay, so interesting. Let's find the references. No references. Well, someone's got to, I mean, it has to be called somewhere. where is it being called? Startup has to be called somewhere, right? Otherwise it wouldn't be here. Startup. Let's just do good old-fashioned lookup. No, not find and replace. I just want to find. There we go. Oh, star up? No, start up. That's what we're looking for. Okay, startup is called on the first frame of the running scene. Okay, that's good. That's good. But where is it being called from? Is it just, oh, is this just, okay, maybe it's built in. Just like how start is, I don't know. But let's look for the definition. I mean, the position's got to be told by something, right? Because it's not the prefab position. We tried that. We tried editing that. That doesn't work. So position has to be coming from somewhere. Final references. Okay, what if that doesn't work? What if what we need, wait, converts the tile's translation, rotation, and scale matrix to values used by the instantiated game object. Ooh, okay. So this could work, but the game object translation, I didn't realize, I mean, translation is movement. It's not, all of this is movement. Rotation is movement, I believe. Or is it rotate that's movement? But translation should be transform if it's not moving. All right, the matrix transform is there. We're grabbing the tile map here. That's good. Ooh, okay. Tilemap.tile anchor. Is there a way we can just change the tile anchor to slightly offset it? Or would that mess up everything? All right, TM, what was it? Temp map. TMP map. That should be, yeah, so that's the tile map itself. You don't understand a thing here, too much code. All right, well, I'm hoping that it's gonna be, hopefully we figure this out really quick and then we'll be done with the code, I think for now. Pretty much what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is just offset this, let me show you. This tile right here. This is our prefab. And right now, if we use a rule tile to set this prefab, you see it doesn't line up, right? So I'm trying to go into the rule tile code, fix that. Once that's done, I think that might be all three. Well, we'll try interaction last, but I think that's all three main things that are kind of solved for the devlog this month. We'll just need to, you know, I'll polish it up and try to make a better example of it. I think we're onto something here because the translation matrix, the tile map. So what I need to figure out is with tile map, what is tile anchor? Oh, I've never seen this before. Okay, so within the tile map, it has the tiles. And look, we can actually find rule tile and animated tile right here inside of the tile map, as well as sprites. That is interesting. I've never seen that before. I guess I've never looked. Okay, so here's offset. Let's do custom, right? Tile anchor is 0.5. Let's do 1.25. 1.25. But now watch. Now when we try to do the rule tile, I bet it's going to offset it even. Oh, rule tile, paint. Yeah, you see now is going to be lined up because it's adding its own offset, right? Its own offset of 1.25 or whatever offset it has. That then this will line up, but the rest of the tiles won't, right? And the idea of lining up all the tiles or offsetting these tiles, well, you know what? We might not need to. I'm thinking if let's create a prefab, or let's recycle this prefab. Let's put it with a 16 by 16. Aha. There it is. That's what the problem was. I mean, that's what the problem is. That's why we have to offset, because the 16, it doesn't line up to a 16 by 16 grid. That's why we're doing all this. So we still have the offset issue. We need to offset it not in the tile map itself, because that controls everything, but the code for the specifically the rule tile. That's where we have to offset it. But it's good to know that that's there. All right, I think it was XY. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Okay, let's see if we do. So this is why the platforms were so odd. It's taking specifically the one point that we actually used to draw it, and it's using that to be the collider. If we go to the rule tile and we set it instead of grid to sprite, oh, but then we would need a sprite collider, right? I don't know what that would look like. But let's turn this off and back on. Oh yeah, it still stays. Anyways, we have to figure out collider next. Let's fix the offset. I think if we just add, so the orientation matrix, that was what we just changed, right? We changed it from XY, but XY is good. So we understand what the matrix is. That's that tile. It's the orientation of the tile map. So pretty much what it's saying is find the tile map, find the orientation, where is it pointed, and now it's talking about the game object translation, right, to a new vector 3. You know what? Let's just do something crazy. If this is a vector 3 already, we could do dot x plus 0.125. It seems like it won't let me, but it's worth a try, right? No? It's not gonna let me? Come on, guys. Use of possibly unassignable field X. Okay. Well, we'll save that for later, though. It won't let me do that, yeah. So transform. So the trouble I'm having is, what is passing? What is the position? Where does that come from? You know, like, because it's not the transform of the prefab. That position isn't being passed down because we tested that. So where is position coming from? Because if we don't know where position is coming from, all of these are just kind of like floating numbers. We don't really know where they're coming from. But that's a vector 3 int. Let's do, wait, but it's an int. Why would the position be an int? That would not allow for, because ints are whole numbers only. Interesting. So how come this let us offset it? What is the difference? Not sure. Not sure. All right, so this is for each tiling rule. We don't necessarily want the tiling rule, do we? Is tiling rule if matches rule? Okay, so I think it matches rule by default if we don't set any rules, right? We're not setting any rules. We're using the rule tile to kind of consolidate all of our game objects. So it should always match. Now the position, vector 3 int. Now transform, what is that? That's the matrix for 4. So actually, oh, wait, so what is ident? Okay, so it's saying that ident, oh, that's the identification. Okay, or the identify, whatever. So transform is matrix 4 times 4, and then it changes the translation to the matrix. But let's do plus. Okay, right here. I think this is all we need to do. We'll find out. Because technically, what it's doing right here is converting the matrix to the cell. And if the matrix is where we were able to kind of offset everything, this should allow us to offset it just for the prefab. We'll see. All right, so what do we have right now? We have the random brush, we have the rule, tile. Wait, is that doing it or is it not doing it? Let's change something out. Let's put the 64. Nope, still not doing it. That's what I was worried about. With the 16. So the 16 works fine because it doesn't need an offset, but anything higher. Hold on though. 64 might still need an offset. Well, no. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. It doesn't need, I mean, it needs an offset, but the same offset. Yeah, you see, everything needs the same offset to 1.25, except for 16. 16 figures it out. And that's because the tile, I guess, anchor, I suppose, is in the center, right? So it scales everything from the center. That's what creates the offset issue in the first place. If we were to change, the tile anchor, that might actually fix all of our issues. No worries, Vic Gauze. It's good to see you. All right, see you when you come back. Have a great dinner. Okay, So we're gonna, yeah, let's try that. We'll do the tile map. We'll change the tile anchor to 1, which I believe should be. Okay, so there's that. Now if tile anchor is 1 and we do custom, we change this to 0.15 or 0.125. Does that fix anything? We'll see. No, it does not. Why does it not? It's because let's remove our translation matrix things here. No. Okay. So even with the anchor change, it doesn't fix it. Yeah, anchor change doesn't fix it. Still has issues. Still not with the grid. So we need to keep searching. Let's check if maybe we're in the wrong place. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe it doesn't match a rule. Let's do 0.125. Maybe my assumption of it defaulting to the rule is false. If that's the case, then hopefully this will fix it. Oh, I don't actually need it to play. We've done it. We did 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 it. Okay. Whew. I was getting worried there. And now we can't delete this one. What's wrong with this one? Oh, I might have put that one on the wrong. No, it should. Okay, well that one is stubborn. It doesn't want to come back. It doesn't want to be deleted. It must be deleted. It's probably on a different tile map. That's probably the problem. There we go. Yeah, it was on a different tile map. That's another thing, you know, we'll have to match in the script for each tile. We'll have to make sure that the tile matches the sorting layer for each Z value. We have, I think, 3 or 4 Z values. And each one has a different sorting layer. Well, no, actually we have like 8 up to 10, I think, Z values that we use for sorting. So we'll need to, anyways, that's just technical stuff. We don't really need to worry about that right now. All right, now here's the next thing. So we know that the animated tiles creates this weird collider, right? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when we've got, what is it? Where is it? Oh yeah, the prefab. When we have, let's say this. Okay, now let's check. Oh wait, no, that's on one. We need that. There's no collider. Oh, wait, no. Before I say that, I'm using the sprite collider. Okay, now it's grid. The grid collider is off. Yeah, it's only one block. You guys might hear my dog in the background. He's clawing the ground a little bit, doing his stretches. Interesting. Okay, so that's our next problem, right? Because we need to... Well, I wanted to use the tile map collider because we don't just have a game object issue. If each tile, even if they're not independent game objects, has their own collider, that is so much more... That's so much more colliding. That's too much colliding. What could we do to fix that? What could we do to fix that? Thinking. If we do none, it's not gonna... Yeah, it just removes it. Interesting. All right, let's just test, right? That's what we're doing. We're prototyping. We shouldn't be afraid to add a collider. Auto tiling. I've never seen that option before. I don't know what that means. Wait a minute. Does that... Wait a minute. I think I just figured something out. All right, so if we change it to sprite, right, it should now show collider around it. And then I want to test the auto tiling because I think that's... Is there no... Hold on. Excuse me? I don't think there's any thing on here. Let's open the prefab. Okay, it does say that. Okay, it's probably just hiding. It's probably hiding. For science, let's bring in the collider. That way we can see clearly. All right, we're gonna save that. I don't see it. Just saying, I don't see it. If I do grid, I see it. If I do sprite, I don't see it. It says sprite, not game object. Oh no. Okay, hold on. So that means it's talking about the sprite's own physics collider, which is good. That is fine. But will it just take the collider from the sprite, or will it change out the game object with this? Excuse me, with the sprite. Also, wait, what's the auto tiling? Hold on, let's do that first. So if we do auto tiling, all of a sudden it changes things. Let's go to the rule tile. No, it still creates a jumble of mess destruction. Okay, I thought maybe that's how. Well, I'll have to look. You know, I'll have to look it up a little more. Do some research on that. because it seems promising. It seems like that might actually be the way we can do rule tiling. The biggest problem was that they overlap because it's a 16 by 16 grid. So every 16 pixels, it would overlap if we were just to like, you know, hold the brush and drag it. But if auto tiling were to take the colliders of each box and not put anything within that collider, then that would fix it. I could have any tile size and it would work just great. And one thing that I forgot to mention is that now that we know where we need to offset it, right? Whether it matches or not, we know where to offset it. We can change this to a static, pretty much a public float, which can be edited based off of the sprite that we're using within the prefab, I believe. That means that when it's a 16 by 16 block, we can put the offset to 0, and if it's anything else, we can put it to 0.125. But I'm not sure if we need to, because we might never actually use 16 by 16. Again, we need to keep working on it. We need to keep experimenting. My puppy wants attention. He's just putting his head on my leg. All right. So let's see. We've got the collider did not work for the prefab. It wants a sprite. Let's put in the sprite and see if that changes anything. Let's take the sprite. Okay, this one has the physics layer. So we've got sprite right here. That's the default sprite. We put that in there. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Things have happened. Things have happened. Interesting. Okay, but now, okay. Things are happening. Okay, let's check. What is the... Okay. Okay, that's promising. We have the collider from the sprite, but we also behind it have the game object. Now the game object is on the grid. The sprite is not conforming to the grid. So here, something is a little off, and it might be in the, yeah, I think it's the get, I think it's this, get tile data, because here, what was this? This was startup. Well, you know, startup should have fixed it too. Let's do a quick experiment. If I remove, no, that wouldn't make sense. But if I were to remove this, yeah, if I were to remove that, my theory is that when I click this, they'll line up. And if I select tile map, I'll see everything. Yeah. Okay. So that's exactly what I thought. That means that the sprite offset is somewhere else. Hopefully here. Oh, wait a minute. This is different. If rule matches, output, transform. Okay. We had done it a little differently, but tile data dot transform. Okay, and this is the matrix 4x4. Interesting. Could we change it to what we have here? I don't think so. If it's a game object, then it's its own thing. This is tile data for this isn't for the main tile, I don't think. I mean it's for the tile you're currently working on, but it's based off of the rules that you've set. We didn't set any rules. We didn't set any rules, so... Oh, wait. Here, it was lower. Okay. Wait, no. No, it wasn't. Let's just keep looking. Okay, you see here, tile animation data. So that's for animated tiles. And that also has a transform. Main thing is we need to change the position. All right, tiling rule. It matches, right? Transform equals this. Okay. Okay, I don't think that's what we need. Yeah, that's rotations. Apply random transform. We don't want that. Oh, what is this? What is this? Position, right? Position of the tile map. That's okay. Rule matches for what? Position offset. Wait, get mirrored position. Okay, so that's... Okay, so let's go back up to where we saw it. So startup, there's that, right? That's okay, perfect. Now, what we did was we edited the game object translation because we have a game object, right? The tile rule, we put the prefab. That's the game object. The question is now the sprite. So we have instantiated game object. That's perfect. Perfect. Okay, good. Now the sprite, we need to, I think right here somewhere, position, transform. Okay, we've got transform. Transform equals apply random transform. We don't want random transform. I think right here, transform. This is a matrix 4 times 4. Okay, how does it do it here? Here it does... Oh, it's not that one. Where is it? Orient matrix, it says, instead. Transform is identification. Just like this one, Iden was identification, and I transform the matrix 4 times 4 transform was Iden. But now, instead of a matrix 4 times 4 transform, oh no, it is. But the tile data transform. Okay. Hold on. What if I do new vector 3 and I do 0.125, 0.125, tile data transform.x. Or sorry, that's .z. Oh wait, it's not a definition. Okay. We do vector 2 then. We do vector 2. Interesting. Can I implicitly convert to vector 2? So how does it know that it's a matrix 4.4 already? I thought we were saying that it was. Because tile data is its own thing. I don't think it should be already set up with sorry if I'm not making much sense. I'm just trying to think through the problem. But I think ident is where we set the matrix, but I guess not, because the matrix identity equals the transform. So both would already have to be part of the matrix. Transform matrix of the tile. Now, how do we separate this matrix? What if we do new matrix? And then how does a matrix get formed? What is involved with that? Let's look this up. So unity matrix 4x4 scripting API. Let's make this a little bigger so you guys can read along with me. Okay. So most often, okay, you rarely use matrices in scripts, most often using vector 3s. Okay, that's what I'm used to. Transformation matrix perform arbitrary linear 3D transformations, perspective transformations of homogeneous coordinates. Okay, matrices can be indexed like 2D arrays, but note that an expression blah 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 refers to a row index. B refers to, okay, I don't care. I don't know anything about that. Oh, wait a minute. So that is, okay, so that explains, I think, that explains the .m03 possibly. It's matrix 03, right? It's the row and column. So row 0, column 3. Interesting. Aha. Okay, so matrix 0. Okay, I think that's where our sprite is being set to, because I believe there's, where is it? Oh, I don't know. But can you open up a matrix? Seems like we can do a vector 3 of matrices. If that's true, we can do a vector 3. So we can just copy this. Although I don't think we have an orient matrix, but we can try it. Right there. Okay, yeah, we don't have orient matrix. So let's find out, where is that? What does that entail? It's a matrix 4x4 tile map orientation matrix. Okay. That's good. All right, so if we do that, obviously it doesn't have these things, so something is off here. Yeah, you see, so the transform tile data dot transform is already Oh, wait a minute. So tile data.transform is already a matrix 4 times 4. The tile data includes sprite, but it also includes game object. That was item. Oops, there we go. Okay, so I think we're in the wrong spot. I think this I don't know. This one's a tough one. I thought we had it with the game object, but game object is just for game objects. This one is updating the neighbor positions. That's not what we're looking for. This is get the bounds of the neighbors. Okay, this is sprites. Okay, clone, right? So there's the rule.sprites. This is the array. Okay. And dot sprites. So wait, are in tile data, it has the game object. Does the game object here? Oh, this is a bool. Okay, startup is a bool, that's right. But it has the information that is being used because it is on the grid. So it's using. Interesting. So this position is actually not being used inside of this rule, right? It's only the transform, which is a reference to the matrix. Now tile data, where is that? Not sure. So tile data dot sprite. Dot sprite is the default. Tile data dot game object is the game object that we're instantiating. Now what we did is we kind of went under tile data and we changed the position of the game object itself without changing the tile data transform. But if we were to change the tile data transform and reset the game object transform, that the game object would follow the tile data and everything would be offset automatically. It would be great. It'd be perfect. So wait a minute, rule.game object, is that what this does? No. No, I don't think so. Okay, so right now what we have, let me show you. When it says default script, default sprite, default game object, default collider, right? Right here we've got transform, game object, collider, okay? Tile data is the scriptable object that we're using to fill all this out. But tile data seems to be a... Well, actually, tile data.transform is a matrix 4. How do I open up a matrix 4 to add in my own values? That's the question. Because right now it's using a vector 3 in this. Oops. Just hit my microphone. Sorry about that. All right. Assign matrix 4 times 4 to transform. Okay, again, it does the vector 3 approach. So it takes from a vector 3, reads the matrix. Interesting. But it doesn't seem like you can do the opposite. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Matrix dot TRS. What is TRS? Transform rotation scale. Okay, transform rotation scale. So that, if we could edit this, which I'm assuming is the vector 3 because position would have to be vector 3, so would rotation and scale. If that's the case, we can make a new vector 3 inside of it. So matrix 4, let's just copy that. Okay. Now this is a matrix 4 dot whatever. We do, this is vector 3 int. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So this is vector 3 int. How do we change that? Let's do new vector 3. Wait, that worked? Oh, wait, no, it's not gonna work. It worked. Wait, what? Okay, hold on. So this is the tile data, right? Let's see. What does it, I doubt it was that simple. Hi, Priyanshu. How's it going? Yeah, that didn't work. But why didn't it work? Because we're changing the rule transform. Unless you need to change it up there. Wait a minute, did it work? Hold on. Hold on. What was that all about? Is that working? Hold on, it's getting too cluttered. Let's... Probably a different tile map. No, not that one. Not that one. Okay. Which one is it? Here, let's just make it large. Nope, not that. There we go. Yeah, it was a different tile map. Okay. Let's bring it back down. Now, we're gonna... Okay. I'm actually kind of getting excited. This might have worked. We put one. We'll put one right there. Okay? Let's see what happens. Oh, it's on one. It's on one. Hold on. Hold on. That was... Hold on. Yeah, I'll try not to panic. Okay, this is on the right tile map. Here we go. This is it. This is it. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking good. Looking good, but... Oh, wow, hold on. What is all this? Oops. That's not supposed to be there. Okay, that should have fixed that. Let's just... That was very odd. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so guys, we're gonna try again. But I think we just did it. Because check this out. The collider is where it's supposed to be. The collider is based off the sprite. The sprite seems to now be in line with the game object. Let's see. We click play. Ah, okay. Okay. I see. So take a look at this. Turns out we didn't necessarily need to do any of that. If only I had clicked play, because they instantiate the game object on play. So the collider for the game object itself is here. See? But doing that does create this little clone, which is kind of what we were trying to avoid. If we remove a collider, because technically we don't want the collider in here. So actually this might have worked out just fine. If we click play, will it create a game object? Either way, it does. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. But the colliders are being handled by the tile map still. Interesting. So what does this mean? This means that if we use a game object, a prefab, it will still create the game object for it. Is there any way to set up a script without instantiating a game object itself? That's the question. Because remember, we need to change these tiles, right, from a square to a triangle, and we need them to be animated. And both of those things need scripts attached to the game object, a prefab. But it might, you know what? There might be a way. There might be a way. Because if we use custom tile data, if we use custom tile data, we can use the sprite's own physics shapes, which is fine. That'll be dealt with by the tile map. And if we can make the animated tile, because the animated tile is tile data. It's just it's a custom tile. We can see that if we open it up. This is just here. I'll show you guys. If we stop this, if we create 2D and then we go to tiles, or not tiles, where is it? No, tile data right here. I can create, I had created my own tile data, but I couldn't find a real use for it if I was going to use the 2D extras. But maybe this is a way for us to bypass the game object by using tile data to do the animation. And then the last thing I would have to figure out is it responding to other game objects, though. That would be an issue. But not necessarily, because what if let's say there's an explosion. The explosion could talk to the tile map, find, let's say, what is your aim in this video? What I'm working on is creating these tiles for my video game. And so we're trying to make animated tiles and dynamic tiles that respond to different elements. So let's say there's an explosion. I want that tile to break. And so the explosion could talk to the tile map, find out the tile's location, right? Pick out that cell and affect the tile data. Like, so instead of climbable here, like let's say we have a bool that says damaged, right? We could have a bool for different states. And then depending on the state, it would change the sprites, because what we can do with the tile data is set up a list of sprites or tiles. Like right here, we can select the tile base, but I can also change that to sprites. So this might be our ticket out using what we know from the animated tile, from the rule tile. We could make a custom tile data that would do all of this for us. And it'd be versatile enough where we could make it for pretty much anything. And then I'll have to keep testing the auto tiling collider. I need to research that, because if that is a possibility too, then we could do auto tiling possibly. All of this is possible. Possibilities. I need to figure it out though. Need to do a little more research. Oh, thank you. I don't know about deep thinker, but I try to think out the problems. Like this. This seems to be a little off. What happened there? Oh, that's right. I remember. We adjusted. It was 0.005 of a float off. So that's why there's that. But it should be fixed now. Anyways, that is about it for today. We'll be back next week. And hopefully by then I will have been able to work a little more on the tile data, custom tile data, and hopefully we'll be able to run some tests with that. And then after that, hopefully the devlog will be out where I, go in more depth and kind of figure it out. Well, it was nice to meet you too. Thanks guys for joining the chat, for saying hello, for leaving a like, for subscribing. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.